There are moments in life when the air around you changes, when the spiritual atmosphere tightens, when the unseen realm begins to shift, when your heart senses a message before your ears ever hear it. And right now, if you feel this stirring, this trembling in your spirit, it is not imagination, it is not coincidence, it is God declaring something extraordinary over your destiny. God is whispering, God is warning, God is announcing a divine rearrangement in your life. God is saying before 12 December 3, people will be removed for your rise. And when God speaks like this, nothing can remain the same. When God decides to elevate you, the path cannot stay crowded. When God declares increase, certain connections cannot continue. When God prepares a throne for you to sit on, certain voices cannot sit beside you. God does not clear paths gently. God clears them powerfully, decisively, and without negotiation. And right now, God is telling you that the rise you have been praying for, the breakthrough you have been fasting for, the shift you have been crying out for, can no longer be delayed. And because of that, God must remove what has been blocking you. God must uproot what has been weakening you. God must separate you from what threatens your calling. This is not punishment, this is preparation. You have been carrying people who were never assigned to your future. You have been tied to relationships that drained you instead of strengthening you. You have been loyal to individuals who were secretly hoping you would fail. You have shared your dreams with people who pretended to celebrate you but quietly feared your rise, and now God is stepping in to do what you have been too patient, too compassionate, or too blind to do. God is removing 3 people, not to hurt you but to heal you, not to punish them but to protect you, not to break relationships but to break spiritual blockages. Whenever God is about to elevate someone, suddenly certain people around them become unsettled. Their spirits become agitated. They begin to distance themselves or act differently. They begin to speak words that don't align with the love they claim to have. Their actions become inconsistent. Their energy becomes strange. Their presence becomes heavy. Why? Because their season in your life has expired. And when a season expires, God will not allow it to cling to you any longer. Before 12 December, you will see signs, you will notice shifts, you will feel a pulling away, you will sense God's hand removing what your heart did not want to let go of. But hear this, every removal is a divine rescue. Every disconnection is a divine redirection. Every separation is a divine preparation. There are people who cannot go with you where God is taking you next. They carry jealousy that will contaminate your blessing. They carry doubt that will suffocate your faith. They carry hidden resentment that will poison your progress. They carry spiritual darkness that threatens your divine assignment. And God will not allow you to be surrounded by sabotage in the season of your rising. You are stepping into a chapter where God's favor will surround you like a shield. A chapter where opportunities will open that your past could not destroy. A chapter where doors will unlock that your suffering could not close. A chapter where your name will be spoken in rooms you have never entered. And that level of elevation requires a level of purification. God cannot bless you in an environment that contradicts your destiny. God cannot pour glory into vessels contaminated by jealousy. God cannot build your future on foundations weakened by people who quietly wish for your downfall. So God is removing 3 people, not because they are evil, but because they are incompatible with where God is taking you. Whenever God prepares someone for rise, God first removes. Look at your life. Look at how many times you prayed for breakthrough, yet nothing shifted. Look at how many times you fasted for change, yet the doors seemed locked. It wasn't because God ignored you. It wasn't because God denied you. It was because the wrong people were still attached to you, and God will never release a blessing that your environment cannot sustain. You have prayed for elevation. You have cried for restoration. You have begged for clarity, but elevation requires separation. Restoration requires purification. Clarity requires isolation. And now God is doing what your prayers have demanded. Some of the people living your life will surprise you. You thought they were for you. You believed they supported you. You assumed they had pure hearts. But when God reveals the truth, masks fall off, motives surface, and hidden intentions rise to light. The people you least expected may be the ones God removes first. Do not fight the removals. Do not resist the separation. Do not chase what God is dismissing. When God removes someone, let them go. When God separates you, stay separate. When God closes the door, stop knocking. This is not abandonment. It is divine arrangement. It's not loss. It is lifting. This is not rejection, it is redirection. You are entering a season where God must be your only foundation. God must be your only source. God must be your compass, your strength, your anchor. The rise God is preparing for you is not ordinary. It is not small. It is not simple. It is a rise that will silence your past, shock your enemies, and honor your faith. The rise will be so undeniable that even those who doubted you will testify that only God could have done this. But hear this truth clearly. Some people cannot witness your rise because their hearts would turn against you. So God removes them before He raises you. And God has marked a date before 12 December. This is not just a timeline. It is a spiritual deadline. Something will break loose before that date. Something will shift. Something will move out of your life abruptly. Some conversations will end. Some connections will dissolve. Some individuals will distance themselves from you. Do not panic. God is at work. God is not removing people because you prayed against them. God is removing them because you prayed for breakthrough. You prayed for destiny. You prayed for clarity. You prayed for peace. And God knows exactly who disrupts those things. There are conversations about you that you never heard. There are intentions towards you that you never saw. There are spiritual attacks sent your way that God blocked before they ever reached you. And God knows every hidden assignment behind every face. God knows who drains your energy after every conversation. God knows who listens but does not support. God knows who smiles but does not mean it. God knows who pretends but does not care. God knows who stays close in order to monitor your progress, not to celebrate your progress. And because God knows what you do not, God removes what you cannot. God sees what you cannot see. God RS what you cannot hear. God protects you from what you cannot detect. This removal is a blessing in disguise. This separation is a gift. This shift is a sign that God is preparing to elevate you beyond anything you have ever imagined. Your time of hiding is ending. Your time of waiting is ending. Your time of crying is ending. Your time of confusion is ending. But before God opens your new chapter, God must close the chapter that cannot go with you. When God removes people, it may hurt at first. You may feel confused. You may feel abandoned. You may feel disappointed. But the pain of removal is nothing compared to the glory of the rise. God will not take without giving. God will not subtract without multiplying. God will not remove without replacing. The three people God removes before 12 December are making room for the three blessings God will release after 12 December. God is clearing space for divine connections, people who will support your purpose, speak life into your dreams, elevate your vision, and sharpen your spirit. People aligned with your destiny. not attached to your history. People who bring peace, not problems. People who bring clarity, not confusion. Your rise will not be quiet. It will not be hidden. It will not be small. When God lifts you, even the ones who left you will hear about it. God's timing is perfect and His strategy is flawless. Every removal, every separation, every shift is orchestrated by Him alone. Do not question why it hurts now. Question why it didn't happen sooner. Some people stayed in your life too long, weighing you down, dimming your light, distracting your destiny. And God, in His infinite wisdom, is setting things right. He is cleansing the soil of your life so that new seeds of favor, seeds of provision, seeds of opportunity can grow without interference. When God removes, it is never careless. It is always intentional. It is always precise. It is always for your good, even if your mind cannot see it yet. You may ask, why 3 people? Why not 1? Why not 10? God works with divine precision. He removes exactly what is necessary and no more. 3 people may seem like a small number, but God measures not by quantity, but by impact. These 3 individuals hold positions in your life that have been blocking your advancement in ways you could not measure. One may be a gatekeeper to your peace. Another may be a thief of your vision. The third may be a whisperer of doubt disguised as counsel. God knows who they are, and God knows what is required to lift you into your next level. And before 12 December, they will be removed. Do not waste your energy on bitterness or resentment toward those God removes. That is not your fight. Your fight is faith. Your fight is perseverance. Your fight is obedience. When God removes, He does not require explanation. He does not require negotiation. He does not require your agreement. He requires trust. Trust that the hand moving behind the scenes is the hand of the Almighty. Trust that the God who never fails is orchestrating your rise. Trust that what looks like an ending is actually the beginning of a miracle. Some of you have been waiting for years for your breakthrough, wondering why it hasn't come yet. You have watched others ascend while you remain stagnant. You have endured betrayal, disappointment, and discouragement. You have questioned God, you have questioned yourself, and you have questioned the timing. But hear this now, God is not late. God is not careless. God is not unaware. God has been preparing the soil of your life. God has been clearing the debris. God has been removing obstacles that you could not remove yourself. And before 12 December, the evidence of His intervention will be undeniable. Do not fear the departure of these 3 people. Fear only stagnation. Fear only compromise. Fear only allowing distractions to hinder your destiny. Every person who leaves is a messenger, whether they know it or not, sent by God to deliver you into freedom. Every separation is a signal that your rise is near. Every exit is a declaration that God is rearranging the atmosphere around you, that the spiritual currents are shifting, and that your path is about to become straight and unstoppable. And understand this, those who are removed are not failures. They are simply incompatible with your future. God does not call you to maintain connections that will cost your peace. God does not bless you to be chained to the wrong alliances. God does not elevate you only to have you weighed down by hidden opposition. Your rise demands a clean slate, a clear path, and an environment saturated with favor. And that is why God is removing exactly what is necessary. That is why these 3 people will exit your life. That is why the countdown before 12 December is sacred. Now is the time to prepare your spirit for increase. Do not look back. Do not mourn excessively. Do not question God's wisdom. Instead, embrace this season of purification. Rise above petty disappointments. Rise above temporary pain. Rise above the emotional weight of what is being lifted. For the moment you see their absence, you will also see the presence of God's favor, greater than you could imagine. You will see opportunities that were hidden behind these barriers. You will see clarity that was clouded by confusion. You will see freedom that was obstructed by attachment. God is setting the stage for a rise that is not just visible, but undeniable, not just temporary, but eternal in its significance. Some of you have been carrying people who drain your energy with subtle criticism, whose love comes with conditions, whose loyalty shifts with circumstances. You tolerated too much because you are kind, because you are faithful, because you are compassionate. But now God is saying, enough. I am clearing the way. I am removing them. I am preparing your elevation. And if you resist this removal, you resist God Himself. You cannot keep what God is taking away. You cannot hold on to what God is removing. To rise, you must release. To ascend, you must let go. To be elevated, you must trust in the one who elevates. This is a divine reset. This is a spiritual recalibration. This is God aligning your life with your destiny. After 12 December, when these three people have departed, you will step into a season where your faith and obedience will no longer be tested by the wrong individuals. After 12 December, your prayers will begin to produce visible results. After 12 December, doors will open that were previously locked. After 12 December, you will witness a level of increase and manifestation that cannot be explained by human reasoning, only by the divine hand of God. And do not underestimate what God is doing. This is not ordinary removal. This is not small disruption. This is a spiritual clearing that will shock your understanding. These three people are not being removed for their sake. They are being removed for yours. They are being removed for the sake of your breakthrough, for the sake of your vision, for the sake of your peace, and for the sake of your rise. God does not act randomly. God does not act without cause. God is intentional, meticulous, and precise, and His timing is perfect. Before 12 December, watch carefully. Observe the subtle signs. Pay attention to your spirit. Notice the shifts in behavior, the sudden distances, the quiet departures. God often communicates through circumstances, not just words. And when you see these things happen, do not panic. Do not curse the process. Do not question the separation. Say instead, God, I see your hand. I trust your plan. I receive your elevation. Because your response to this removal will determine the speed of your rise. Obedience accelerates blessing. Faith multiplies favor. Trust unlocks doors that delay cannot. And after the removal, after God has cleared the path, step boldly into your new season. Embrace the opportunities that come. Embrace the people who are aligned with your vision. Embrace the freedom, the clarity, and the peace that God provides. Your rise will be so powerful, so undeniable, so supernatural, that even those who were removed will recognize the hand of God in your life. And you will testify, not from bitterness, not from resentment, but from faith, that God is faithful, God is just, God is intentional, God is powerful. Now listen carefully, because God's message cannot be ignored. The removal of these three people is not just an event, it is a declaration of your destiny. It is a statement from the heavens that your rise is inevitable. Do not let your mind be distracted by who is leaving or why they are leaving. God has already seen the heart of every individual in your life. God knows who belongs in your future and who cannot go with you. And before 12 December, you will witness this with clarity. People you once trusted, people you once depended on, people you once believed were inseparable from your path will step away. Some will leave quietly, some abruptly, some unexpectedly, but all of them will leave by God's design. Some of you have been afraid of losing people because you equate departure with rejection. But hear this, departure does not mean God has abandoned you. Departure does not mean you are unloved. Departure is a divine alignment. Departure is God's way of ensuring that the space around you is prepared for the weight of your calling. The 3 people God is removing before 12 December are not failures. They are simply no longer compatible with your spiritual elevation. And the moment they are gone, your path will be clearer, your heart lighter, your vision sharper. Your rise demands space. Space for clarity, space for favor, space for divine connections. God cannot pour increase into a life cluttered with confusion, compromise, and obstruction. God cannot release miracles into a room occupied by those who secretly resist your blessing. That is why removal is necessary. That is why separation is strategic. That is why before 12 December, God will intervene. And when it happens, you must not fear, you must not grieve excessively, you must not doubt. Instead, you must see it as evidence that God is active in your life, that God is listening to your prayers, that God is preparing to lift you higher than ever before. There are people who, despite their closeness, have been toxic to your progress. They may appear kind, but their words carry subtle poison. They may seem supportive, but their encouragement is conditional. They may seem faithful, but their loyalty shifts with circumstances. And God has been observing, God has been discerning, God has been waiting for the right time to act. The removals are not random, they are precise, intentional, and protective. God removes not to punish, but to protect. God removes not to harm, but to heal. God removes not to destroy, but to design a path for your elevation. Before 12 December, you will also notice shifts within yourself. You will find clarity in your thoughts that was previously clouded. You will feel strength rising in your spirit that was previously dormant. You will recognize peace settling in your heart where anxiety once ruled. And all of this is connected to the removal of the 3 individuals. When God removes what is incompatible, God also releases what is essential. When God clears space, God also prepares to fill it. When God separates you from disruption, God also aligns you its destiny. Some of you may be tempted to hold on, to beg, to negotiate. Do not. That is not faith. It is fear disguised as love. Faith trusts God even when hearts are breaking, even when relationships are shifting, even when the atmosphere feels uncertain. Faith believes that God's plan is perfect, that God's timing is exact, that God's intervention is flawless. And this is your moment to exercise faith at the highest level. Let God remove, let God separate, let God elevate. The 3 people leaving your life will also teach you valuable lessons. They will show you who truly celebrates you and who only tolerates you. They will reveal who supports your vision and who secretly fears your progress. They will illuminate the difference between genuine loyalty and superficial attachment. And when you see these lessons, do not be angry. Be grateful. Be grateful because God is teaching you discernment, a spiritual sensitivity to what aligns with destiny and what does not. Be grateful because God is training you to recognize the difference between blessing and burden. Now is the time for boldness. Do not shrink back because of the discomfort of removal. Do not soften your stance because of fear of loneliness. Do not second guess God's plan because of nostalgia or sentimentality. God is raising you, and raising requires separation. God is preparing you for a season of unprecedented favor, and preparation requires purification. God is positioning you in a place of visibility, influence, and breakthrough, and positioning requires removing what weighs you down. Before 12 December, You may feel pressure. You may feel the absence of those three people as a void. You may feel uncertainty. You may feel a weight that seems heavy. But hear this clearly. The weight is temporary. The void is necessary. The uncertainty is a signal that God is moving. Your rise will not happen in a vacuum. It will happen in alignment with God's divine orchestration. And when it does, the power of your elevation will make the removal of these three people look like a blessing you never knew you needed. Do not underestimate the spiritual battle surrounding your rise. Some of the people being removed carry energies, intentions, or spiritual blockages that, if left unchecked, would have delayed your destiny. God sees the unseen. God knows the unspoken. God discerns the hidden. And God acts according to divine wisdom to protect your calling. The three people being removed are not simply leaving. They are being removed to secure your victory, to safeguard your peace, and to accelerate your ascent. This is a divine clearing, a sacred reset. Your environment is being purified. Your path is being straightened. Your heart is being aligned with your purpose. Your spirit is being strengthened to receive what God has prepared. And when you emerge after 12 December, you will not only rise, you will rise with power, with clarity, with authority, and with an unshakable peace that comes only from God. Remember this, God removes what cannot go with you so that what must go with you can arrive. God removes the three people to create room for divine connections, divine opportunities, and divine favor. God removes them so that your rise will be unimpeded, undeniable, and unstoppable. God removes them not to hurt you, but to honor you. God removes them not to close doors, but to open doors wider than you could ever imagine. God removes them not to punish, but to prepare. And now, as the days move closer to 12 December, position yourself in faith. Position yourself in prayer. Position yourself in obedience. Do not cling to what God is lifting. Do not mourn excessively. Do not doubt the process. Instead, watch, wait, and witness the perfect hand of God at work. And when the three people be removed, you will feel a release, a freedom, and a peace that confirms what God has been saying all along. Your rise is imminent. The rise God is preparing is not ordinary, it is supernatural. It is beyond explanation. It will astonish those who doubted you. It will honor those who believed in you. It will reveal the faithfulness, the power, and the precision of God. And the removal of these three people is the first step in that glorious unfolding. Do not resist it. Do not resent it. Do not fear it. Receive it with gratitude. Embrace it with faith, and watch as God moves in ways that surpass human understanding. Listen carefully, because this message is not for everyone. It is for those whose hearts are ready to receive divine instruction and whose spirits are prepared to obey. The three people God is removing before 12 December are not just ordinary individuals. They are representations of every obstacle, every distraction, every hidden weight that has been slowing your rise. They may carry influence, authority, or familiarity in your life, but God sees beyond the surface. God sees what is hidden, God discerns the impact on your destiny, and God acts with precision. Every removal is strategic, every exit is intentional, every separation is sacred. Do not be surprised if one of these people is someone you have counted as family, someone you have trusted for years, someone you never expected to leave. God does not remove lightly, but God does remove decisively. And sometimes the most shocking departures are the ones that prepare you for the greatest breakthroughs. Understand this, God is not interested in keeping you comfortable. God is interested in keeping you on course. God is not concerned with preserving your convenience. God is concerned with preserving your calling. God is not focused on pleasing your emotions. God is focused on fulfilling your destiny. B. 12 December, you will feel the spiritual shift. You will sense the atmosphere changing around you. Conversations will alter, relationships will subtly shift, and your intuition will warn you that God is moving. The three people leaving may not announce their exit. They may appear calm, indifferent, or even unchanged, but the spiritual departure is undeniable. God is removing them quietly, purposefully, without drama, and in a way that ensures your rise is uninterrupted. Some of you may feel fear creeping in. Fear of loneliness, fear of betrayal, fear of uncertainty. But hear me now, fear is the enemy of faith. Fear is the barrier to blessing. Fear is the distraction that keeps you from recognizing God's hand. Do not allow fear to control your response. Allow faith to guide your eyes. Allow trust to govern your heart. Know that every removal is an act of divine protection. Every separation is an act of divine alignment. Every exit is an act of divine preparation. And God's timing is critical. There is power in a deadline set by the Almighty. Before 12 December is not arbitrary, it is intentional. God is orchestrating events to ensure that your rise is perfectly timed. By this date, the obstacles that have slowed you will be removed. The people who have diverted you will be gone, and the environment around you will be purified for increase. God does not work hurriedly, but God does not delay without purpose. Every moment leading up to this date is preparation. Spiritual training for your heart, sharpening for your mind, and alignment for your soul. Do not resist the departures. Do not question the removals. Do not mourn excessively over those who leave. Instead, celebrate the freedom that comes with space. Celebrate the clarity that comes with distance, and celebrate the peace that comes from divine order. God removes what cannot accompany you so that what must echo, you can arrive. God clears the path for connections that are meant to empower your vision, opportunities that are meant to elevate your calling, and favor that is meant to accelerate your rise. Some of you have been waiting for validation, waiting for recognition, waiting for acknowledgement. God's removal of these three people is a form of validation. You are being elevated, and your environment must reflect your level. You are not being abandoned. You are being appointed. You are not being rejected. You are being realigned. You are not being diminished. You are being designed for greatness. Do not underestimate the spiritual significance of what is happening. The three people being removed carry energies, intentions, or influences that, if left unchecked, would have delayed your breakthrough. God's hand is acting on your behalf to eliminate what human eyes cannot see. God is intervening on your behalf to remove what human hands cannot touch. God is orchestrating your life to remove what human hearts cannot discern. And when the removals are complete, you will step into a season where favor, provision, and divine opportunities flow unhindered. Prepare yourself spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Guard your heart against bitterness. Guard your mind against resentment. Guard your spirit against doubt. The removals are for your elevation, not for your destruction. Your focus must remain on God, not on the departed. Your attention must remain on the promise, not on the problem. Your energy must remain on the rise, not on the removal. After 12 December, the shift will be undeniable. Doors that were previously closed will swing open. Opportunities that were previously blocked will appear. Connections that were previously misaligned will arrive. Your rise will be visible, tangible, and unstoppable. And those who were removed will witness your elevation and recognize the hand of God at work. They may regret leaving, they may misunderstand, or they may criticize, but their reaction does not change your rise. God's plan is immutable. God's purpose is unshakable. God's timing is perfect. Some of you are tempted to hold on to the familiar, to plead for continuity, to question God's removals. Do not. Familiarity can be a trap. Comfort can be a cage. Relationships can be roadblocks. Your rise requires detachment from what no longer serves your destiny. God is not taking from you. God is freeing you. God is not closing doors to punish you. God is opening doors to position you. God is not removing people to hurt you. God is removing them to honor you. This is your moment to step into bold faith. This is your opportunity to embrace divine alignment. This is your season to witness God's intervention in ways that surpass understanding. The 3 people being removed before 12 December are the first sign of a greater shift, a greater elevation, and a greater breakthrough. Pay attention, watch closely, and trust fully. Do not be distracted by human emotion, human attachment, or human expectation. Stay focused on God, and your rise will be undeniable. Your destiny demands clarity. Your calling demands purity. Your breakthrough demands removal. God removes because God cares. God removes because God knows. God removes because God is preparing you for a level of success, influence, and peace that you cannot achieve while carrying the wrong energies in your life. And when the removals occur, you will feel liberation, see opportunity, and experience the power of God in ways that words cannot fully capture. Now hear this clearly, for it is the final word that God is declaring over your life. The removal of these 3 people before 12 December is not a loss. It is a divine gain. It is not an ending. It is the beginning of your rise. It is not a punishment. It is preparation. God is clearing the path, aligning the atmosphere, and positioning you for a level of elevation that will leave no doubt that only God could have orchestrated it. Do not mourn what God removes. Do not fear what God separates. Do not doubt what God orders. Instead, embrace it, trust it, and step boldly into the new season God has prepared. Every space made by God's hand is a space for divine favor, divine opportunity, and divine connections to enter your life. Every absence created by God is a call for your faith to rise higher, your vision to grow sharper, and your spirit to strengthen beyond what you ever imagined. After 12 December, you will walk into clarity. You will walk into freedom. You will walk into the manifestation of what God has promised. And when you see your life transformed, when you see your calling fulfilled, when you see your rise undeniable, you will understand that the removals were not obstacles. They were the very instruments of your victory. Stand firm, trust God fully, celebrate the unseen work of God. The 3 people who leave are a testimony that God is preparing your life for greatness, that God is securing your destiny, and that your rise is inevitable. God has spoken, God has acted, God has cleared the way. Now it is your time to step into the fullness of your purpose, the height of your calling, and the glory of your elevation. Your rise is coming. It is certain, it is unstoppable, and it is divinely ordained.